kind.
To be old, not to marry a young woman, not to keep young company unless they really desire it, not to be peevish or morose or suspicious, not to scorn present ways or wits or fashions or men or war, etc., not to be fond of children or let them come near me hardly, not to tell the same story over and over to the same people, not to be covetous, not to neglect decency or cleanliness for fear of falling into nastiness, not to be over severe with young people, but give allowances for their youthful follies and weaknesses, not to be influenced by or give ear to knavish tattling servants or others, not to be too free of advice, nor trouble any but those that desire it. To conjure some good friends to inform me which of these resolutions I break or neglect, and wherein, and reform accordingly. Not to talk much, nor of myself. Not to boast of my former beauty, or strength, or favour with ladies, etc. Not to hearken to flatteries, nor conceive I be beloved by a young woman. Et eos qui hereditatum captum, odis ac vitare. Not to be positive or opinionative. Not to set up for observing all these rules, for fear I should observe none.
Martha!
Martha, Swift's cousin and carer in his final years.
Martha, where are you? You old trout! You old bitch! You old bitch! You're doing it on purpose! I know you are! I know your game! Huh. You'll pay for this! Don't... I'll cut you out of my will! You're not gonna get a penny out of me!
What do I owe? To who? Tell me, I need to know now.
Martha!
My ledger. Settle my accounts. Put my house in order. That's it, Jonathan. That's it. Mutton 4 and threepence, Wine, 6 and 6. Candles, 1 shilling. Gardner, 7 and 8. Wax, ink, parchments, pens, Christmas boxes. 6 crowns. I shall be undone here with these Christmas boxes! My letters.
Him.
Only a woman's hair. Stella. Letter from Jonathan Swift to Miss Esther Johnson, also known as Stella. Vanessa. Letter from Jonathan Swift to Miss Hessie Van Numery, also known as Vanessa.
Dearest Rogue.
To little Missy.
A fine day begins to grow a little warm, and that makes your little fat presto sweat in the forehead. The Queen designs to have cards and dancing here next week. I'm sorry for Raymond's fistula. Mrs. Tisdall is very big and is ready to lie down. Do her husband's feet stink still?
It goes to my soul not to see you oftener. I would I have been with you sooner, if not 1,000 impediments had not prevented me.
I'm glad at heart to see poor Stella is better. Use exercise and walk. Spend patterns and spare potions. Wear out clogs and waste claret. Have you found my pun of the fishmonger? Don't read a word more until you have got it.
I did not imagine you had been under difficulties. I'm sure my whole fortune will go to remove them. I cannot see you, I fear, for having affairs at my place to do, but pray think it not want of friendship and tenderness, which I will always continue to the utmost.
And Stella is handsome again, you say? And is she fat? Then here is the cargo. I hope it will arrive safe. An apron for Stella and a pound of chocolate. Without sugar.
I did not forget the coffee, for I thought you should not be robbed of it. I send this haunch of venison to your mother and not to you, and this letter to you and not your mother.
What shall we do for poor Stella? Will you never be satisfied? You are welcomed as my blood to every farthing I have to this world, and all that grieves me is that I am not richer for my dear sake.
I am full of business and ill humour. Some end or other shall soon be put to both. I hope Moll has recovered from her illness, and then you may come. Have you escaped your share in this new fever? I have, though of late I'm not well in my head.
I shall be glad to be in the same kingdom as my dear, but I'm kept here by a most capricious fate, which I would break through if I can do it with decency or honour. To return without some mark of distinction would look extremely little.
I have not time to answer you, the coach and venison being ready to go. Pray eat half an ounce at least of this venison, and present my humble service to your mother. And this letter will, I doubt, smell of venison. I wish the hand dog coachman will not spoil the haunch in the carriage.
Believe me,
Adieu
no
till we
man
meet
breathing
again
at present has left
over
share
a
of
pot of
happiness
coffee
in
or an
life.
orange
Everything here
and
is
sugar in the
tasteless to me.
sluttery,
So,
which I
a short
often
sigh
found
and
the
no
most
more of
agreeable
this.
chamber in the
Farewell,
whole
your loving
world.
Preston.
Je suis
My
à vous.
dear, my
Your most
dear.
humble and obedient.
No. Martha, for the last time, will you come and stick an enema up my arse? My body's in pain.
Well, if his letters can be supposed to afford any evidence, he was not a man to be either loved or envied.
I know you're watching me. You think you know me. I am what I am. You have no idea what I am. Do you think I'm going to send people to poke about in my brain? Strangers, visitors, they're going to sit in nice, tidy, neat rows, stare into my eyes and try to tell me that I'm insane. Look into another man's eyes and try to tell him that he has no mind of his own. Where is your mind? Where did it go? Who are you to judge me? Who are you to tell me that I'm out of my mind? Knock at the door.
The imminent arrival of 11 men to assess Dr. Swift's sanity.
Dr. Swift! Dear Dean! We hope it isn't an inconvenience. We hope it isn't a bad time. We'd just like to come and ask you a few simple questions. A few simple questions we know you'd find easy to answer. We just need a little information to see if you can still run this fucking cathedral. Who are you to tell me what I can and can't do? You are little men. Little insignificant men. You haven't been where I've been. You haven't known who I've known. Sorry for the inconvenience, dear Dr. Swift. We hope it wasn't too much trouble for you. We'll be in touch soon to let you know the results of our examination. Good day to you, sir. Good day to you. Good day. Celia! 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 Shit.
What are the responsibilities of the artist to his society? Or should he draw upon the entirety of his personal memory and psychology to fulfill his artistic vision? Or is this simply pathology masquerading as art? Are there limits to good taste? Is shit dirty? Well, horse manure makes excellent compost. Jonathan Swift. Madman or genius? Visionary or malcontent? That question.
Thus, finishing his grand survey, the swain, disgusted, slunk away, repeating in his amorous fits, Celia! 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 Shit!
He that cares not to rule will be sure to obey when summoned by Addison.
Arbuthnot.
Pope and gay! You'll never make a poet, Cousin Swift.
My lady Celia has eaten a surfeit of prunes, methinks.
True, which is nature to advantage dressed, but oft was thought but ne'er so well expressed.
All human races fain be wits. Millions miss for one that hits.
Nothing is so much admired and so little understood as wit.
Come, gentlemen. Celia shits may be my best remembered line. No man can predict what his legacy will be. What will yours be? Gay.
Books are the legacy that a great genius leaves behind.
John Gay, 1685 to 1732. Playwright extraordinaire. Admirer of many a pretty trollop. And author of The Beggar's Opera.
From an idea by Jonathan Swift.
Ooh!
Arbuthnot, how about you?
Dr. John Arbuthnot, 1677 to 1735, royal physician to the court of Queen Anne.
None of whose children survived her.
On the subject of stillbirth, how's the poem on Marlborough coming on?
'Twas a painful birth, but it will be a healthy child.
Though unnecessarily fat. And Mr. Pope?
Alexander Pope, 1688 to 1744. Poet and friend and admirer of Dr. Jonathan Swift.
Yeah! It's a pity Pope's not a political bigwig, Swift. He'd make you Bishop of London.
And Addison.
Joseph Addison, 1672 to 1719, publisher, editor, and literary lion.
And political animal.
And the greatest genius of our age. After our mad parson, of course.
If too much wit is dangerous to salvation, then you must certainly be damned to all eternity.
Physicians ought not to give their judgment on religion for the same reason that butchers are not admitted to be jurors upon life and death.
I have not the courage to be such a satirist.
Oh, come, my dear cousin, you're too hard on yourself.
Not as hard as he is on others.
I would rather be a philosopher.
Be careful what you wish for.
You're very melancholic today, Arbuthnot. How are things at court?
The Queen is off colour, and Marlborough grows daily more insupportable. Plus, my piss is red. I fear a cruel fit of the stone may be coming on. I shall be racked tomorrow, I know it.
Marlborough's a military genius.
I have a remedy for the stone, sir. Find yourself a wench and go to your devotions.
If I want to ride, sir, I have a perfectly good horse.
But my dear Jonathan, for what will you be remembered?
My masterpiece.
Which is yet to be written.
Gentlemen, in truth, if you could choose, would you rather be remembered for a satirical rhyme or for being the greatest general of all Europe?
Oh, Marlborough went to war? What a pain,
What a pain, what a pain.
When will he come home? Again.
Again.
Do, re, mi, do, re, fa, Christmas, Easter, or...
Never!
Do, re, mi, do, re, fa,
Christmas, Easter, or never!
Joke all you like, gentlemen. I shall read my verses nonetheless.
My dear Addison, the Duke of Marlborough hardly needs a poem of yours to be remembered by when he has the largest palace in England.
And a garden by Capability Brown.
And a 200-foot plinth with his likeness on top.
In the middle of the garden?
It's a very good poem.
It's also very long.
The mad parson speaks.
Come, Addison, you shall read your poem. But you're paying for the coffee to keep us all awake.
What shall we drink to?
A toast to friendship.
And immortality.
Marlborough went to war, what a pain, what a pain, what a pain. When will he come home? Again. Do re mi, do re fa. Christmas, Easter, or never. Marlborough went to war, what a pain, what a pain, what a pain. When will he come home? Again. Do re mi, do re fa. Christmas, Easter, or never.
Here shift the scene to represent how those I love my death lament. Poor Pope will grieve a month, and Gay a week. Arbuthnot not a day. Addison will shrug and cry.
I'm sorry, but we all must die.
She'll be like that tree over there. She'll die from the top down. Damn you, God! Why are you keeping me alive? Why? Why am I still here? Why don't you just let me die? Let me die. Let me go. What have I got to live for? Everyone I've ever known or loved is gone. Martha! Come and get me dressed. I want to go out. I have to get out of this house of dead things. I know your game. I know all your games. I know you're all watching me. I know. I can feel you. I know you're here. You don't fool me. What can be your design but malice? To wake me from a scurvy sleep. After all, this humdrum way of life might be passable enough if you would let me alone. I shall not be able to relish my wine, my parsons, my horses, or my gardens, until the spirit you have raised has been dispossessed. I was reconciling myself to the scene and to the business to which fortune has condemned me, and stupidity was what I had recourse to. Besides, what a figure would I make in London, while my friends are in poverty, exile, distress, and my enemies with rods of iron. Yet I still threaten myself with a journey. The only inconvenience is I grow old in the experiment. Salt!
I accepted an advantageous offer from Captain William Pritchard, master of the Antelope. We set sail from Bristol on May the 4th, 1699. Our passage from thence to the East Indies, northwest of Van Diemen's Land. By an observation, we found ourselves in the latitude of 30 degrees, 2 minutes south, where we were driven by a violent storm. The seamen spied a rock within half a cable's length of the ship, but the wind was so strong we were driven directly upon it. We cast ourselves on the mercy of the waves. What became of my companions I cannot tell, but conclude they were all lost. I swam as fortune directed and got to the shore at 8 o'clock. I lay down on the grass where I slept sounder than ever I remember to have done in my life. When I found myself on my feet, I looked about me. The country around appeared like a continual garden, and the fields resembled so many beds of flowers. On my left, I viewed a town, which looked like the painted scene of a city in a theatre.
I, most mighty Emperor of Lilliput, monarch of all monarchs, delight and terror of the universe, proposeth to thee, man mountain lately arrived to our celestial dominions, First, Man Mountain shall not depart from our dominions without license under our great seal. Second, he shall not presume to enter our great metropolis without express permission, at which time inhabitants shall have 2 hours warning to keep within their doors. Third, the said Man Mountain shall confine his walks to our principal high roads, and not offer to walk or lay down in a meadow or field of corn. Fourth, as he walks these said roads, he shall take the utmost care not to trample on any of our loving subjects, their horses or carriages, nor take any of the said subjects into his hands without their permission.
The city is an exact square, each side of the wall being 500 feet long. The Emperor's palace is in the center of the city where 2 great streets meet. The Emperor had a great desire that I should see the magnificent palace. When I came to the side of the outer court, I stood upon one stool. I applied my face to the windows of the middle story, which were left open on purpose, and discovered the most splendid apartments that can be imagined. There I saw the Emperor in his several lodgings, with his chief attendants about him.
My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, make way for the court of Queen Anne.
Letter to Stella, August the 8th, 1711. There was a drawing room today at court, but so few company that the Queen sent for us into her bedchamber, where we made our bows and stood about 20 of us about the room, while she looked at us round with her fan in her mouth. Once a minute said about 3 words to those that were nearest to her, and then she was told that dinner was ready and went out. I dined at the Green Cloth by invitation. It is quite the best table in England and costs the Queen £1,000 a month while she's at Windsor and Hampton Court, and is the only mark of magnificence or hospitality I can see in the Queen's family. It is designed to entertain foreign ministers and people of quality who come to visit the Queen but have no place to dine at. I fancy I am better known than any man that goes there.
Gods may descend in factions from the skies, and rivers from their oozy beds arise. Fiction may deck the truth with spurious rays, and round the hero cast a borrowed blaze. Marlborough's exploits appear divinely bright, and proudly shine in their own native light. Raised of themselves, their genuine charms they boast, and those who paint them truest praise them most.
Capital poem.
Queen Anne, Annus Mirabilis, last of the Stuarts, the unhappiest woman in Christendom. Her close friend and confidant, scheming, ambitious, two-faced Lady Sarah Churchill, and her husband, John Churchill, first Duke of Marlborough and lucky owner of Blenheim Palace. Victor of the battles of Ramillies, Oudenarde, Turin, and Blenheim.
I know, Sarah, my sweets. Let's send that chap Addison a prezi.
Splendid! We'll send him a bottle of that plonk you picked up on the Spanish campaign.
Good idea. It was turning into vinegar anyway.
Oh, speaking of gifts, I have something for you.
Oh, Mom, it's too kind, too infinitely generous to our humble servants. What is it? Another palace?
It's a dining table and a complete set of chairs. Queen Anne, of course. Now you'll be able to entertain me right royally.
With pleasure, Mom. And now, if your Majesty will permit, I have one more campaign to go.
Line up the troops!
I had 52,000 English and Austrian troops under my command. I marched my men to the river Namur to prevent an Austrian collapse. We outsmarted the frogs. Drowned 18,000. In Ramillies, I had 62,000 Austrian troops. We got them right in the centre when my cavalry broke through. Destroyed 25,000. And now, Your Majesty, we come to the Battle of Blenheim.
Oh, tomorrow, perhaps. Time for hunting. Wait a moment. Who is that appalling little man? And what is he doing in the royal bedchamber? Is he one of us?
It's Swift, Mom. The political scribbler who's always sniffing around court, looking for a free dinner.
Never heard of him. Besides, we've all eaten. Ask him what he's doing here.
What is he doing here?
What is he doing here?
What are you doing here?
I have a petition.
He has a petition.
Petition.
He has a petition.
A petition? A petition for what?
A petition for what?
A petition for what?
A petition for what?
For a position.
He has a petition for position.
Petition for a position.
A petition for a position.
A petition for a position? What position?
What position?
What position?
What position?
I have a testimonial from Sir William Temple.
A testimonial from Sir William Temple.
Yeah, testimonial from Sir William Temple.
A testimonial from Sir William Temple.
Oh, that old fart. Well, what does he say?
Says he has Latin and Greek, some French, writes very good in current hand, is honest and diligent, and has good friends, though they have for the present lost their fortunes in Ireland.
Ireland.
And has been tutor to his niece, Miss Esther Johnson, aged 14.
I don't understand. Does he want to be a secretary or a tutor to young girls? What does he want to be?
What does he want to be?
What do you want to be?
A bishop.
A bishop? Dukey, do we have any spare bishoprics?
He's very ambitious. We must test his ability to hold a high position.
Capital idea. Put him through his paces.
I know. We'll get him to jump.
Let's have
If I might be so bold, send him to Ireland.
Oh, Ireland.
A vicarage in Bogland is more than you deserve, you provincial popinjay. Now, run along and go pester some bog trotters instead.
I remember when I was a little boy, I felt a great fish at the end of my line, which I drew up almost to the ground, but it dropped in. Disappointment vexeth me to this very day, and I do believe was the type to all my future disappointments.
Per patrium,
Per patrium,
de Deo Deo Dio,
de Deo Deo Dio,
et infinitum
et infinitum
stabat mater
stabat mater
Agnus Dei
Agnus Dei
Delorium.
Delorium.
Amen.
Amen. young child, well nursed, is at a year old a most delicious, wholesome and nourishing food, whether stewed, roasted, baked or boiled, and will make 2 dishes at a public entertainment. The fore and hind quarters will make a reasonable dish, and when seasoned with a little pepper and salt, will be very good boiled on the 4th day, especially in winter. Pigs are no way comparable in taste or magnificence to a well-grown, fat yearling child, which roasted whole will make a considerable figure at a feast or any other entertainment for friends.
In the kingdom of the giants, I was brought to the palace of the king, where I was fortunate enough to enjoy several conversations with him. The king was a prince of excellent understanding, who would frequently order that I should be brought in my box and placed upon his table in his closet. In this manner I had audience with him. In hopes to ingratiate myself in his majesty's favour, I told him of an invention of ours, which might deserve imitation.
Proceed, little Grillrig. Your accounts of lives in your dominions are of great interest to me.
There is a certain powder that I know of, into a heap of which the smallest spark of fire falling will kindle the whole in a moment, though it be as big as a mountain, and make it all fly up in the air together, with a noise and agitation greater than thunder. A proper quantity of this powder, rammed into a hollow tube of brass or iron, according to its bigness, will drive a ball of iron or lead with such violence and speed as nothing is able to sustain its force. The largest ball thus discharged will not only destroy whole ranks of an army at once, but batter down the strongest walls to the ground, sink down ships with 1,000 men in each to the bottom of the sea, and when linked together with a chain, cut through masts and rigging, divide hundreds of bodies in the middle, laying all waste before them. We often put this powder into hollow balls of iron and discharge them with an engine into some city that we are besieging, which will rip up pavements, tear down houses to pieces, burst through splinters on every side, dashing out the brains of all who come near. I know the ingredients very well, which are cheap and common, the manner of compounding them, and can direct your workmen how to make such tubes of a size proportional to all other things in your majesty's kingdom, the largest of which need not be above 200 feet long, 20 or 30 of which tubes, charged with the correct amount of powder and balls, will batter down the strongest walls of the strongest towers of the strongest towns in your dominions in a few hours, or destroy the entire metropolis, if ever it should pretend to dispute your absolute command.